Today I'll be doing a review on this tank. This is a Leopard 1 main battle tank. This tank was put into service during, I think, the 1970s, the late 1960s, and it was in service all the way to the 1980s. This tank was basically designed for speed. Doesn't have a lot of armor on it. It's very lightly armored. As you can see, the front part of the hull only has 70 millimeters of armor at 41 degrees. And here, where the gun mantle is about well, the thickest part of the armor is here, where the gun mantle is, which is 65 millimeters, and behind that is 45 millimeters. If you get hit here, you're probably going to survive. If you get hit anywhere else, you're probably a goner. If you get hit there, or hit at the sides or whatever, doesn't have a lot of armor at all. The tank weighs about 40 tons, has about 1,286 horsepower, as you can see here, at 2,200 RPM. So it's very fast. It can move at 72 kilometers an hour, but I haven't really modded the engine yet. If you mod the engine, it'll probably be a lot faster. Maybe you'll be able to get 78 kilometers to 80 kilometers an hour. And I don't have the best ammunition for this tank. This tank doesn't start out with good ammo. It starts out with this armored piercing discarded sabot round. And sabot rounds don't do as much damage as a regular armored piercing round like this. This has 400 millimeters of penetration power at all ranges. I think this is a heat round, a high explosive anti-tank round. It's called a HEATFS, or high explosive anti-tank fin stabilized shell. And this has a lot better penetration. It's not a kinetic energy round. This is a kinetic energy round. This is not. So it uses a shape charge warhead to punch a hole in armor. And heat rounds became very popular after World War II, probably around the 1950s and 1960s. And they don't really require speed or kinetic energy to punch holes in armor. Like I said, it uses a shape charge warhead. This is, I think, a high explosive round. It's called a high explosive squash head round. This isn't for penetrating armor. This is for taking out like infantry and soft vehicles, soft skin vehicles like trucks, maybe armored personnel carriers and stuff like that. But if you get this round, this tank would be very good. Actually, if you do upgrade the engine, it doesn't really improve the speed, but it does add more horsepower, so the speed will still be 72 kilometers an hour. This is the main thing that shines about this tank. This is a 105mm L7A3 gun. This is a pretty modern today. Although the Rheinmetall 120mm is used in the most modern battle tanks, but this is still used in countries, a lot of countries. The M60 tank uses a 105mm L783 gun as well. This tank does not have a stabilization system, so the gun isn't stabilized. However, it does have night vision with a infrared illuminator right. This is the infrared illuminator. It does have night vision for the gunner. It has two, I think these are MG3 machine guns. They were basically derivatives of the MG42 machine gun, which was used during World War II. Except it uses a 7.62 by 51mm round, not a 8 by 57mm Mauser round. So that's the only difference. When I used this tank first, I wasn't getting a lot of kills with it because the ammunition for this thing sucks. But the way to use this tank is by using its speed and getting into the good positions first, and just like ambushing enemy tanks with it. So this tank was built at a time, like I said, when heat rounds were very popular. They didn't have composite armor back in the 1960s and 70s. So what composite armor does is it defeats all types of rounds. Composite rounds have different layers of materials on it. So it has steel, of course. It could have some kind of synthetic material like Kevlar or something, which is a ballistic material. It may not exactly be Kevlar, some kind of a plastic-like material, which helps stop like rounds. And it also has a ceramic plate. The ceramic plate, what that's good at is defeating heat rounds. So modern battle tanks with composite armor aren't vulnerable to high explosive anti-tank rounds. So that's the thing about it. So let's try some tests. So the good thing about this tank is mobility. It has really good forward mobility, and also it has good rearward mobility as well. So let's just test this thing out first. This is a night vision. I'm using it in the day. And let's see. This is also night vision. You really can't use it in the daytime. You need to research this in order to get night vision. So let's test it on this tank first. I'm going to turn off my night vision. So it doesn't have a stabilizer, so the gun's not stabilized, so it's bouncing up and down and everything. speed on this gun is pretty average. There's nothing special about it. Look at the rearward mobility of this tank. This is pretty fast. You can really get away from enemies. That's a T90. I don't think I could do much to that tank. That's a very modern tank. Some countries still do use the Leo 1, like Greece and Turkey, they still use it. I don't know about other countries. One thing I don't like about this, in this game, this gun is, for some reason, it's not centered. You see, when I fire the machine guns, the bullets, I mean, my aim is slightly bottom to the left. It's not centered with this reticle, so if I fire at this, at the center right there, I'm not hitting perfectly center. That's one thing you have to keep in mind. This tank does have a ballistic computer. With that under heat squash round, you wouldn't have any problem penetrating through these tanks right here. The problem with saber rounds is like they're easily deflected. Rounds are used basically in stuff like rockets, anti-tank missiles, which don't require kinetic energy. Mobility on this tank is great. That's one thing you can talk. You can write home about. I think different variants of the Leo in this game do have stabilizers. I don't know if they have thermal optics. Thermal optics is for like tanks like the Leo 2, the Abrams tank, stuff like that. Leclerc and others. Alright, now let's play a mission. let's check out the night vision capability of this tank. So night vision is enabled. It also has an illuminator, as you can see. It's kind of like a flashlight or something. Enables you to fight it in pitch dark night. That tank there has an illuminator of some sort. It's an infrared illuminator as well. So I'm going to turn off my infrared illuminator. So there's other tanks that also have night vision or on the battlefield, and if you turn on your IR like that tank there, then you can see them much easier. They just stand out. That's the thing about using the infrared illuminator. It gives your position away. But they don't have to have infrared illuminators anymore, because today a lot of countries use thermal optics. So you don't need an infrared illuminator. And passive night vision is also pretty good, and it doesn't require you to use an infrared illuminator. But having this night vision capacity definitely enables you to fight at night. It's not as good as thermal optics. I think this is first generation night vision. Like I said, if you want to use night vision, you have to research it. Very difficult to shoot and move with a tank without a stabilized gun. But you can still do it, but you need more practice because it just keeps going up and down. It just moves with the terrain, basically. Get into practice of shooting and moving, because it increases your survivability. Okay, I think that's it for the night vision. Okay, let's play a mission. Tank doesn't have a very good survivability. Simply doesn't have a lot of armor protection. Doesn't have composite armor or anything like that. So, just one hit and you're going to become a Bronson liner. that you don't stay too far away from everyone else when you use this tank, because you want other people to support you and help you out.
Attention to the designated grid square. I agree.
Good thing about this tank is you can get away. Let me get out of here, dude. Get out of my way. This round, sabot round, really does suck. Saw the leopard that went in first, he just got smashed. Just like that. When you use this tank, you always try to flank your enemies by finding a better position. Modern battlefield, they don't use armor-piercing shells like the type that they used in World War II. Most modern armies, they use high explosive, of course. They use heat rounds and sabot rounds. As for the sabot rounds, I think they're either tungsten or they're depleted uranium rounds. It's called DU. Oh, I was so lucky there. I could have been killed. Whoever's faster on the draw wins here. Find a good ambush position. After all, the name of this tank is Leopard, right? So it's a cat. So cats are good at ambushing and prey, right? Good place, good position to take cover and shoot. Missed. Died. So you always find good cover when you use this tank because you don't want to get hit. Something behind me. Oh shit. Right. They know I'm here, so he's trying to flush me out. I don't want to get flanked. That's the thing. all of that penetrated. This tank certainly doesn't have a lot of armor. I think the Centurion is a better tank than this. Okay, let's play another mission. Hopefully I survive longer than I did last time. Excuse me. Oh, they took the position first. That wasn't a tank. I think that was an AA gun. Try to flank the guy. There's a lot of enemy tanks there. I better get out of here. God, took him out. Yeah, just gotta be really alert when you use this thing. You could really get killed easily on this thing. MBT. I wish I had smoke. Get out of here. Trapped. He had a better round than I had. He had that high explosive anti-tank round. Oh well. And he got killed. Leopard tanks sure don't last that long. They're not very durable. Okay, last mission. popped out of nowhere. It's a spawning area, so what can you expect?
Destroy the target.
Missed that one. Let's go to that lower depression. You have to get some cover. Nothing. Nothing. Let's play hit and run. Let's play hit and run.
Allied forces have captured a zone. Allied forces have captured a zone.
Missed.
Our victory is near.
This is a good position to camp and shoot. Shooting. Oh, what? I got taken out by a MiG. A MiG-15. Don't tell me his autocannon took me out. Oh man, that sucks. Okay, well, let's talk about this tank and what I think about it. This tank is it's okay. It isn't anything special. The biggest gripe I have about it is the lack of armor protection, which you saw in this game. I got taken down by a MiG-15 with its auto cannons, and not having a lot of armor is the biggest issue with this tank. So let me show you another tank, the Centurion. See how much armor this tank has? 152 millimeters at the mantle, 50 millimeters, and an additional 152 millimeters right there in the front of the turret. .89 millimeters of armor, like on the side of the hull. I'll show you another tank. The T-55. That's the type of tanks that you would be going up against on the Leo 1. Look at how much armor this thing has. 200 millimeters right there. 223 millimeters where the gun is, you know, gun mantle is. The side of the turret has pretty good armor protection, 160 to 110. 100 millimeters right there, the hull. The accuracy of this gun is definitely inferior to the accuracy of, let's say, the L7 gun. But it does have better armor protection than that tank. And I'll even show you another tank. Let's see. The M48. The M48 also has very good armor protection. 173 around the turret. 110 near the hull. Very good armor protection. Yeah, so that's the lack of protection on this tank is definitely an issue. That's the biggest drawback, and also the ammunition that it came with is not that great. But if you got this round, I guess this tank could be formidable. I'll be researching that next. This tank, I wonder if it even has smoke grenades. Let's see. No, it doesn't. There's no option for it. No smoke grenades, so you can't get away from your enemies. That sucks. So anyways, that's my review on this tank. So thanks for watching. My Ace 1000 KS 1975 signing out.